Clint Eastwood's film American Sniper has been a huge hit with audiences in the US and is set to break all box office records for a war movie there. It's based on Navy SEAL Chris Kyle's account of his 160 kills in Iraq and has sparked a heated debate over whether it's a proper celebration of a war hero or a morally sterile glorification of killing. But with films in the last decade like The Hurt Locker, Zero Dark 30 and Generation Kill, has America a desperate need to tell itself a story of its behaviour in wartime, and what kind of story is it? We'll debate that in a moment with the writer of the book behind the film and a critic. But first, here's Stephen Smith.
Don't pick it up. Drop it.
It's on course to be the most watched film of the year and the biggest grossing war movie ever. But the story of dead-eyed Navy SEAL Chris Kyle and his many kills in Iraq has divided opinion.
This film clearly glorifies war, and it's about also America clearing its conscience. It's not about grey areas, it's about a sniper that kills people that apparently deserve to be killed. It's a very simplistic and comforting film, and it's also fun. It's, you know, it's like Call of Duty. You shoot the bad guys. It's great.
You got some sort of savior complex?
I just want to get the bad guys, but if I can't see them, I can't shoot them.
But American Sniper rings true to men who served in Iraq.
I got a military-age male on a cell phone watching the convoy over.
There was a lot of parts in the movie that reminded me of what I did, like when he waited for hours up on top of buildings. I mean, that was the same thing I did, but with machine guns. We look at World War II as the good war, but we disagree with the Iraq War, so those critics, I think, are confused when they see this World War II type of character fight and do his job in a war that they disagree with, and they automatically write it off as propaganda and a pro-war film. And I didn't get the impression at all from watching it that it was a pro-war film at all. I mean, I thought it was very anti-war. We see the toll that these constant deployments do to this soldier and what that does to his family.
You smell that?
Despite its half-dozen Oscar nominations, American Sniper is a long way from Francis Ford Coppola's black comedy Apocalypse Now.
I love the smell of napalm in the morning.
I think it comes in waves. This year the war movies have not been great. They've just kind of celebrated being a soldier, being a hero. Usually you get these kind of things long after a war is finished. I mean, you think about Vietnam, what poured out long after Vietnam in terms of, you know, Apocalypse Now or even MASH, you know, those ironic takes on a war seem to take a while to kind of emerge.
One more rap for Bradley Cooper's film. Some claim it's provoked Islamophobia on social media.
I think the people that are doing that, a lot of them are just drunk teenagers. I think if Twitter was around during Pearl Harbor, there'd be a lot of racist tweets tweeted. I just think there are morons that don't know any better that are saying things like that.
I'm ready. Oh my God! I'm ready to come home.
Steve Smith. Well, Jim DeFelice is the co-author of the book American Sniper, which is based on the memoirs of the late Chris Kyle. He joins me from New York, and here in the studio is Catherine Heseltine of the Muslim Public Affairs Committee. Good evening to you both. Jim DeFelice, it seemed that Chris Kyle had absolutely no regrets about the kills. His regrets were the ones he didn't do and his comrades who fell as a result of it. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is absolutely correct. Chris had such tight rules of engagement and was supervised so closely that he felt that every shot that he took, that he was absolutely good. Unfortunately, 2 people died, 2 Americans who were his friends died during the war, and he felt, to his dying day, I'm sure he thought every day about them. He also regretted the Iraqi civilians who died because he was not able to protect them.
That is it, Catherine Hessani. He was simply a soldier doing his job, and the film doesn't seek to portray him as anything more than that, or anything less than that.
The very dangerous thing about this film is the way it's this black and white goodies and baddies. It almost reminds me of the sort of classic American westerns where they're shooting the you know, Native Americans, boom, 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 as if they're not human beings. And here it's the Muslims who are the baddies, and they are pretty much universally portrayed as terrorists, including the women, the children.
Her arms aren't swinging, she's carrying something. Yeah, she's got a grenade. She's got an RKG Russian grenade. She's saying to the kid.
You said woman and a kid?
You got eyes on this? Can you confirm?
Negative.
Chris Kyle himself describes them as savages, and you know, in his book he goes into this myth that they hate us because we're not Muslims. There's no context that any of these people could be Iraqis who've been invaded and have a legitimate right to defend. It's all Al-QAEDA, because again, it's whitewashed history.
It is still unclear at this hour who our enemy is. Although the embassies were obviously the targets, most of the dead and injured are not Americans. Still, 8 Americans, including 1 child, are dead, and 5 are still missing.
So you're from Texas?
Yes, sir.
You're a patriot?
Yes, sir.
You're pissed off.
I'm looking to be of service.
But if it's simplistic, it's a film that Americans have taken to, and indeed the British audience, is the British audience as well.
Yeah, I dare say some people see this almost as if it's a work of fiction.
Jim DeFelice.
But the chilling thing is it's not.
To come in.
Well, the problem is, you know, you obviously haven't read the book, because the book is much more complicated than that. And, you know, frankly, even watching the movie, and most of the people on the street, you know, are civilians who are not being attacked and actually are being protected by the American forces.
Welcome to Fallujah, new Wild West of the old Middle East. AQI put a price on your heads, and now extremists from around the globe are flooding the borders to collect on it. You snipers, you're going to be paired with a Marine to watch your back and inserted along the main road to do overwatch for 1st Marines going door to door. Your job is to protect those Marines at all costs. The city has been evacuated. Any military-age male who is still here is here to kill you.
Out, out, out!
I'd keep that head down, Tex. Mooch got snipers too, you know.
Sniper won't aim for your head.
Man, they got this one sniper that's been hitting headshots from 500 yards out. They call him Mustafa. He's in the Olympics.
You got sniping in the Olympics now?
You would never guess that a million Iraqis were killed.
It's a different film.
Well, you know, the movie is not about, you know, that's not what the movie is about.
Interesting, Catherine, when do you think we will get the movie? Do you think we will ever get that movie?
It has to be when America is ready to question its foreign policy and look at the fact that the Iraq War did not make Americans back home any safer. It led to ISIS. It increased the terrorist threat. And until the American... and I don't blame the American public when this is what is portrayed in the media, the news media, and over there. And it does lead to this Islamophobia. I have a friend who grew up in America and says she wouldn't live there as a Muslim anymore because of the level that Islamophobia has reached nowadays. You know, we can't casually dismiss this racism, people saying they want to kill Muslims from watching this film after we watch this Holocaust memorial.
Jim DeFelice, when you look back and the example they're given in the film was Well, there was MASH, of course, obviously, and then you also have Michael Herr's Dispatches. That book and then that film questioned the whole idea of the Vietnam War, and the analysis seemed to be there that we won't get the films. We have had The Hurt Locker, Jarhead, and so forth. We won't get films that take a more questioning attitude till later. Do you think that's because Americans are not ready for that, or indeed this is because they are worried about what happened, they want to reinforce their own positions?
Well, you know, what I think that you see in American Sniper is more, unlike those movies, any of the movies that you've mentioned, is a focus on what the effect on an individual soldier and his family has been. As a matter of fact, a lot of people who have seen American Sniper feel that it's actually an anti-war movie because it's showing that.
Do you think
that? The problem is a lot of people come, I think it's more a character study of Chris Kyle, of somebody in war and what it does to their family. You know, if you come to the war and, you know, with, you know, preconceived notions or whatever, then that's the way you're going to see it. I think if you just open up and, you know, view it or read the book, which is much deeper and, you know, broader, you know, you may have, you know, you may come away with different opinions.
We believe that the Butcher is AL-QAEDA's #2 man. This is your guy right here.
Yeah, but you don't know his real name, otherwise you'd have written it up there.
We got several aliases. Now, if Fondus is legit, we'll go see the Sheikh.
He's asking for 100,000.
I'm gonna be with him in trouble.
Roadkill.
You know the Butcher is AL-QAEDA's enforcer? You say his weapon of choice is a fucking drill.
I want to talk about this movie because there's another controversy besides, of course, Deflategate, which is American Sniper. It made $105 million over the box office. This is unheard of in January. That's what superheroes usually make, superhero movies make. I'm not surprised. Clint Eastwood's a great filmmaker. But somehow the Twitter war broke out, and now we have to take sides, whether the American Sniper is a real hero or not. Now, I said last week we had Catherine Bigelow on, who had made Hurt Locker. And I said it kind of goes over a lot of the same territory. Hurt Locker made $17 million because it was a little ambiguous and thoughtful. And this one is just American hero. He's a psychopath patriot, and we love him. You know, I read some of the quotes from the real Chris Kyle. He said, "I hate the damn savages," talking about the Iraqis, "and I've been fighting and I always will. I love killing bad guys. Even with the pain, I loved what I was doing. Maybe war isn't really fun, but I certainly was enjoying it." I don't know. Eisenhower once said, "I hate war as only a soldier who has lived it can." I just don't see this guy in the same league as Eisenhower. I'm sorry. And if you're a Christian, I know this is a Christian country, I hate the damn savages. I don't give a fuck what happens. That doesn't seem like a Christian thing to say.
It's also very Clint Eastwood, right? I mean, that's the sort of black and white, sort of cowboys and Indians, and it's the Hollywood version of
it. Anyone who watches it, honestly, it's not a black and white film. No, it is an honest film about war and about one particular soldier's experience, and people should watch it before they condemn it as some kind of movie fit only for yahoos.
We're not condemning it, and I was making a point that the real Chris Kyle is different than the movie Chris Kyle. You're right. There's more ambiguity in the movie than the book.